Hey everyone, in today's video I wanted to spend some time discussing a topic that has come up a lot in the shop lately. I've had dozens of people, customers in the shop and friends alike, asking me for opinions on what they should do with their precious metal stacks given the current market conditions. With silver approaching $30 an ounce and gold holding around $2,400 an ounce, I've had many people reach out to me and ask if it's, in my opinion, time for them to take some profits and cash out, to maybe convert one metal into the other, doing a trade, or should they buy more, or should they just hang tight? Well, I'm going to give my answers to those questions here in the upcoming video, so be sure to stick around. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me. So we're going to talk about current metals markets and what I feel, personal opinion here of course, you should be doing right now. Should you be buying more? Should you liquidate and take some profits? Should you just be on a holding pattern and wait for prices maybe to dip back again before buying more? Or maybe it's time that you start converting one metal into the other by doing trades. There's a lot of different scenarios, and I've gotten this question so many times in the past several weeks, I thought I'd do a quick YouTube video and give my thoughts on it, just so you could all hear it, rather than me regurgitate the same answers over and over to different people who ask throughout the day and weeks in the shop here. So as we film this, silver has almost touched $30 an ounce, depending on what charts you check, and gold is hovering real close to $2,400. So I've always been a ratio guy, and that puts the ratio between the two metals at about 80 to 1. Now, I've done videos on these before, and if I remember, I'll link one in the description here. But many times I have converted silver into gold and gold back into silver when the ratios were beneficial to me, allowing me to add ounces to my stack at no additional cost. All it cost me was some time. Just this week in the shop, I've had 3 different people converting silver into gold at around an 80, 82, 83 to 1 ratio. And what does that mean for those of you who don't know? The gold to silver ratio is essentially the gold spot price divided by the silver spot price, and that gets you a number. And it currently sits at about 80, which means it takes 80 ounces of silver at spot price to buy 1 ounce of gold. But I've had 3 different people come into the shop this week wanting to convert their silver into gold. I happily did those transactions for them. One individual traded in some 10-ounce bars and some junk silver. Another actually traded in some junk silver, some silver eagles. I believe there were some silver maples and some cash in order to convert to 1 ounce of gold. And the third one, quite similar situation, traded silver rounds and some 5 and 10-ounce bars in order to walk away with 1 ounce of gold. So, having said that, do I think it's a good time to be converting your silver into gold? Honestly, no, I don't. I'm not saying it's a bad time, but it's not necessarily a beneficial time. As I said, I'm a ratio guy. I prefer to wait until the ratio is about 60 to 1. So that means I just have to trade 60 ounces of silver to acquire 1 ounce of gold. I've done that in the past several times. Now, when the ratio gets higher, meaning it takes more ounces of silver to buy gold, I trade that gold back into silver. And the video I'm going to link in the description here, I'll show you how I got 125 ounces of silver for free. Spoiler alert, but watch the video if you haven't, I guess. It's pretty educational. But basically, I traded 300 ounces of silver for 5 ounces of gold when the ratio was 60 to 1. When the ratio a little over a year later got to 85 to 1, I traded those 5 ounces of gold back and took back in 425 ounces of silver for a net gain of 125 ounces of silver in, I don't know, 13, 14 months. I forget exactly. But that's how I look at it. So do I feel it's a great time to trade your silver into gold? No. It's not necessarily a bad time, but for me, I like when that ratio is closer to 60 before I'm going to start converting silver to gold. Having said that, is it a good time to convert gold into silver? Well, maybe. There again, we're kind of in that situation where I would like the number to be a little higher for me personally. We've had opportunities over the last few months where the gold to silver ratio has been 92, 93 to 1. Now it sits at 80. So back then you could have traded 1 ounce of gold in and got 92 to 93 ounces of silver. Now you're only going to get about 80. So I know that's kind of a wishy-washy answer, but for me personally, I wouldn't do any swaps back and forth right now because I feel there's better opportunities ahead. Having said that, to answer those people who are wondering, well, gosh, silver is close to 30 bucks an ounce. And if you didn't know, it closed yesterday. This would be Wednesday, May 15th. It closed at an 11-year high. Silver had not been that high since 2013. So I think better things are ahead for silver. I think we're going to continue to see upward growth in both gold and silver. So is it my advice for you to liquidate? Well, it really depends on your circumstance. If you need cash and you can take some profits, yeah, why not? I've never been against taking profits by liquidating some metal. I wouldn't sell it out of fear that it's not going to go higher and this is the peak, because I don't believe that to be so. But I do know many people that bought silver at $15 an ounce, and they can essentially double their investment right now. Or, they could liquidate half their stack and get all of their money back, if that makes sense. Let's say they bought 100 ounces at $15 an ounce. Okay, that's $1,500. Well, they could sell those 100 ounces today for, let's say $2,900. Or they could sell half of it for about $1,500. So they could get their initial investment back and still have half of their stack. If you can do that, I'd say go for it if you need the cash. If you don't need the cash and you don't need to liquidate, I recommend holding. And I tell people this who come in to sell me precious metal, because literally every day, and in fact today was one of those days where I bought more metal across the counter than I sold to the public. A lot of people are liquidating right now. And I tell people, if you don't need the cash, you should hold on to this. But a lot of people are like, yeah, I inherited it, I'm not interested, or, oh, I'm going on a vacation, or, oh, I have these bills. Believe me, I get it. I live in the real world too, and I have expenses as well. So, but I feel right now is not the time to be in a rush to liquidate your precious metal unless you need to financially. And you'll know that decision on your own. You don't need me telling you when that is. So now what about gold? As I said, I've had several people trading silver for gold, even though gold's pushing all-time highs. Should you liquidate your gold now? Well, some people are. Honestly, I think every day I've been open in the last 2 weeks, I've bought gold across the counter and silver every single day from the public in some form. Some days the gold is just in jewelry form, but that still counts. It's still gold. For instance, today I bought this 2002 quarter ounce. It's a $10 American Gold Eagle MS69. Nothing super flashy about it. It's got kind of a grubby looking holder, but it's certified by NGC, and it's a nice coin. It's a quarter ounce of gold. Honestly, the person selling it, I don't think needed the cash, but he occasionally liquidates portions of his stack just to have some fun money, for lack of a better word. And that's perfectly fine. And I have a feeling he probably bought this back in 2002 and probably tripled his money on it. So at that point, why not, I guess. So, but am I selling any of my personal gold at these high prices? No, I'm not. I'm holding on to it, but I'm also not buying any gold at the moment either. And I've said that over and over, and I'm not trying to convince you not to buy gold. Obviously, I'm in the business where I sell both gold and silver. And I'll give you the pros and cons if you ever want to have a conversation about it. Call the shop or stop in and we'll talk about it. But I don't believe now to be the best opportunity to buy gold. But having said that, we could look back 6 months from now and think, wow, 6 months ago I could have got gold for cheap. It was only $2,400 an ounce. Believe me, it's not going to take much for gold to make its next big jump up. And I believe the same for silver. If gold can get over that $2,400 resistance level, and silver can get over that $30 per ounce resistance level and stay there for a while, I think big changes could happen, not just in the price of metals, but in the whole financial sector as a whole. So without getting too deep into it, and I'll kind of leave that there, I believe big things are happening, and we may have opportunity to see much higher metals prices coming up. Now, that's no guarantee, that's no promise. I don't control it, and neither do you. But that's just my opinion on the matter. But getting back to it, should you sell your gold or silver right now? Truly, it's an individualized decision. I'm still buying personally, and a lot of people are. Even though I said today I had more people in dollars selling me items today than I had people buying from me today. Those days happen, and they do happen as the price charges up like this, because as I said, some people are going to take profits, whether it's out of need and necessity that they need to take those profits at this point. I don't really know. But everything you see down here in front of you right now, I've purchased in the last few days. These came from a wholesaler. It's a 5-ounce United States flag bar made by Ella Metal. It's a beautiful design. I had these arrive, oh gosh, I believe Monday, and today's Thursday. I've probably sold 15 of them or so far, but it's a cool product. But everything you see here, I picked up over the last few days across the counter, with the exception of these. Those came from a wholesaler. But yeah, people are choosing to liquidate for whatever reason. Is it the right time to do so? It can be. It just really depends on your circumstance. But bigger and better things are ahead. I can't give you a timeline because I don't know. Nobody really knows. And I'm not going to give you a false hope that it's going to be tomorrow or next month or next year, because I don't know. Nobody knows. It's just my gut feeling and my opinion that even better days are ahead for precious metal. So if you're looking for an opinion and an answer to this question that I posed in my thumbnail, should you sell your gold and silver now? I would tell you no, unless you absolutely have to. Because like I said, I think there's going to be opportunity to take even bigger profits coming up on the horizon. But I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you're not already, please consider subscribing to the channel. We want to get education out to as many people as possible. So anytime you are subscribed, or you give this video a like, or you share, or you comment on the video, it truly helps in the algorithm get this out to more and more people. And it's always been my #1 goal on my channel, to educate. So if you like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and let us know what you are doing. Are you liquidating your metal? Are you taking some profits? Are you just in a strict holding pattern? Are you buying metal now? Are you trading metal? There's a lot of different things we can be doing in a market like this, and we truly are in a bull market run. Metals have been on the upswing. So what are you doing? I'm curious to hear. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And I just want to thank everybody too. We're inching closer to 10,000 subscribers. And when I started this channel last year, I never dreamed I would have the following and the friends that I have now because of this channel. So thank you all so much for your continued support. It truly means the world to me. I've made a lot of new friends and contacts in the business because of this channel, and I couldn't be more thankful. But thank you all once again. You all have a great day.